I hope you guys had a good holiday and stuff. So, I guess what I want to talk about today, this is going to turn out to be more of a diary of a channel than anything, I suppose. um, but, so, like I've said before, I do write music. That's basically what I do. And I work in a bunch of things that revolve around music too. But my main goal with that stuff is to, I guess, become just a notable musical artist, I suppose. And obviously I'm well aware how hard that is. I'm just kind of a person where I just like writing music, and I'm just gonna do it no matter what. But I think the end goal would be to just be recognized for the sole purpose of, I guess, having music that can be there for people. Like I've said before, that's one of the reasons why I like music in general. Specifically, like, maybe not songwriter type stuff, but music that's being written by someone that's like more personal, I guess, rather than like pop hits or anything, even though I love pop music too. I think my goals, even with music in general, was always just being able to do that, being able to help inspire people, because I love being inspired by other artists too. And it's hard because I just started doing, because I just graduated college. I just started doing some work just to get the money in. Being a musician, I'm not going to be working in like a job at Amazon or anything, like making 60 grand a year. Yeah, so the problem is, regardless of the fact that I'll keep doing that no matter what, I definitely have a tendency to lean towards kind of a state of, I don't know if I want to call it depression. It's definitely close to that. But I've gotten to the point for sure where really, like, I'm just in it for myself at the moment. Like, I do work with other people and it's totally fine. But I feel like my little world is just a little world, and I don't escape from that. That's where I want to be. I really am against doing something just to make money. I mean, to be honest, I really don't care about making money in general. I wouldn't want to be a notable artist to make money at all. It would just be strictly so I could help inspire people and help other people. I think that's where I've connected most with the INFP personality type with music. And it's taken me a while to realize that. Oh, sorry, excuse me, I just ate food. Kind of in the beginning, I told myself, like, hey, like, I'd never want to be famous. This is like early on too. I never want to be famous. I never want to even be a songwriter. I never want to write music. I just like happened to start writing music and recording it in 6th or 7th grade. I think 7th grade. And I kept telling myself that stuff up until college when I was doing it as a major. Like after I already started college. And at this point, teachers did encourage me, like, hey, I think you can do this writing music thing. Like, you're definitely okay at it. And I was like, awesome, I'll do it then. People have told me, like, oh, for some reason I always thought you'd be a singer-songwriter and not like a percussionist or whatever, And I was just like, oh, that's weird. And then, I started taking their advice and just be like, yeah, maybe I can do that. And I started doing that. There's little things like that all over my life. Like I remember one time, like one of my teachers in school, like for the first time they heard my name, was like, oh, that sounds like a famous name. It's like, no, it doesn't. But theoretically it could be, because my actual name is, I don't know if, there's probably, if anything, like only a few people in the world that have my name, which is kind of weird. I'm not like a person with a common name, so it's hard to I've never been like around someone else with my same name, I don't think. Like just my first name. Definitely haven't met anyone with my whole name. There might be like one person on like Facebook or something with it, or the whole name. But anyways, I feel like I've found a situation where like this is what I like to do. This is what really all I want to do. I mean, I just want to make money so I can write music. Whether that's living in a horrible apartment in the next year or so, it honestly doesn't matter to me as long as I can still do what I like to do. And like be relatively sustainable. So at this point, I'm writing music strictly to get my thoughts out to the world and also to practice. I mean, I'm very well aware that's going to take a lot of time for me to actually write stuff on the level that I want to, but obviously I can't do that unless I start trying to all the time and keep working. And I think I'm at a point where there's not a ton of people involved in my life at the moment. I mean, there's people at work and stuff, and they're all like friends type thing too. I have a bunch of students that are all super great, and I'm just at this point where I do get to exercise some creativity, specifically in one or two areas, 1 or 2 jobs. But I think the thing I really want to be doing is just being an independent artist, eventually touring with a group on that music. But again, like I was saying, at this point, I feel like I'm just building up to that, so I know I'm not going to get any kind of recognition. If I post stuff on the internet, obviously it's not going to be a huge deal. Like a couple friends might share it, and usually people are just generally aware in my circle of that stuff that I'm doing. But I think that building phase is hard. You see other people that get famous or whatever, or just get more notoriety. It looks like they just happen out of nowhere, and you just look at their age, and you're like, oh, but they were 22 when they did this, or they were 19 when they did this, and that stuff doesn't matter. I know that, but it's always in the back of your mind, right? It's just like, oh, but I wasn't able to do that at that time. But everyone's different, so I get that, and that's all fine. But it does put me in a somewhat depressive type mood. I'm like, I hate saying that because it's one of those things where it's a gray area. You never know if you're actually depressed or something. I'm definitely leaning on it at the least, which it's okay, but it makes it hard because I'm writing music about my feelings towards relationships and stuff, and it's it's just me. Like, I'm very alone in this stuff, and I try to collaborate as much as possible just to branch out, because I know that in itself is still good. Like, knowing that like someone else was involved in this, it's not just me. As much as I'd love to just have it all be made and produced by me, there's something that feels unhealthy about that to me, so I try to steer away from that at this point. If there's stuff that's more simple that I can do it myself, that would make sense, then I'll do that. But like if I need someone to play drums, I'll get one of my good buddies to record drums and all that stuff. But people that are like majored in drum set and all that stuff, they're all really good. But yeah, it's, I guess this is more of a diary entry, like I said, on the lonely road of a person that just wants to write music and get some notoriety for it. And being able to do that with stuff that sounds original is ideal. When I started out, I was definitely trying to piggyback off some other artists just to get started. You have to find somewhere to jump off of. But I do a lot of listening, and honestly, listening to music is what keeps me going. Like listening to other people's music and finding new stuff. Usually like lifts me up out of any weird moods. I kind of use it as like a music therapy type thing, especially since around around 2015, like 2014, 15 area, I started doing that very purposefully. Oh, sorry. I like keep having to burp. It's gross. Okay, yeah, we're good. So, yeah. I feel like at some point I'll post my music on here and just say screw it. Just post like a link where you can only follow it through here or something. Don't want to put my whole life on the internet, even though I'm sure I will end up doing that. But I figured it might be interesting, as someone who is or has put out music on the internet and stuff, and it's out there. I feel like it's interesting presenting the side of myself that's not the music and the part of it behind it, rather than showing the music. Because I mean, they're really serving the same purpose, but it's easier for me to kind of just sit here and try to say some of the things I'm thinking to an anonymous group. Those of you people that have been watching. But it's been cool having this like MBTI thing on the internet, because it's an interesting place to interact with other people, again, that are, like I've said in other videos, of similar, I don't know, just similar people. But, INFPs specifically. And it's cool affirming that stuff. It reminds me of the people I've met in my regular life that are INFPs as well. Those people are all awesome too. Only been a couple, I think. Couple that I've been able to actually like connect with like a little bit. But yeah, so I'm sure I'll update you folks about the music stuff as I go along here. I still don't know how often I'm going to post on here. I'm just like feeling it sometimes and I just go for it. Right now I'm working on a track that I do have a couple other people that did some stuff on. Someone I knew from high school is going to do vocals on it. That is going to a school for vocals that's highly regarded. So very good singer. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue to produce music. I do it at a very slow pace because I do work a lot. But I also tend to do it in a slow pace anyways, just because I just like to work on every detail and all that stuff too. So, alright, well, I'll let you folks get on with your day, and I'll get on with mine, because I do have to work today on this fine New Year's Eve day. And yeah, peace guys.